Yes, the H-2B visa program can feel a bit like a lottery. This is because there is a cap on the number of H-2B visas that can be issued each fiscal year, with only 66,000 visas available annually. 33,000 for the first half of the fiscal year and 33,000 for the second half. Due to high demand, especially during peak seasons, many employers and workers feel as if getting selected is a matter of chance. In some cases, when the cap is reached quickly, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, or USCIS, conducts a lottery to randomly select petitions for processing, making the process even more unpredictable. This lottery aspect can create uncertainty for both employers seeking temporary foreign workers and the workers themselves. Applying for an H-2B visa involves several steps and specific requirements for both employers and prospective employees. Below is a comprehensive overview of what is required to apply for an H-2B visa. Understanding the H-2B visa. The H-2B visa is a non-immigrant visa that allows U.S. employers to hire foreign workers for temporary non-agricultural jobs when there are not enough U.S. workers available to fill the positions. Common industries that use H-2B visas include hospitality, construction, landscaping, and seafood processing.
Requirements for employers: temporary or seasonal need. Employers must show that the job opportunity is temporary, which can be due to a one-time occurrence, seasonal need, peak load, or intermittent need.
Labor certification from the Department of Labor, or DOL. Employers must prove that they have attempted to recruit U.S. workers without success. This involves advertising the job and documenting recruitment efforts. Wage requirements. Employers must offer wages that are equal to or higher than the prevailing wage for the position in the area of intended employment.
Filing the petition. Once the labor certification is approved, employers must file Form 129, Petition for a Non-Immigrant Worker, with U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, or USCIS.
Compliance with regulations. Employers must comply with all H-2B regulations, including providing working conditions that do not adversely affect similarly employed U.S. workers.
Requirements for workers or prospective employees. Job offer. Applicants must have a bona fide job offer from a U.S. employer for temporary non-agricultural work.
Qualifications. Workers should possess the necessary skills, training, or experience required for the job.
Intent to return home. Applicants must demonstrate an intention to return to their home country upon completion of the temporary work period.
Legal eligibility. Applicants must be admissible to the United States, meaning they meet all eligibility criteria and do not have disqualifying factors such as certain criminal records or immigration violations.
The application process for the H-2B visa involves several critical steps, each requiring careful attention to detail.
Step 1. Employer obtains labor certification. Employers must file ETA Form 9142B. This form is submitted to the Department of Labor's Employment Certification Division to request temporary labor certification.
Step 2. USCIS processes the petition. After obtaining labor certification, the employer files Form 1129 with USCIS, along with the required fees and supporting documentation.
Step 3. Visa lottery, if applicable. The H-2B visa program has an annual cap of 66,000 visas, with 33,000 allocated for each half of the fiscal year. If applications exceed the cap, USCIS conducts a random lottery to select petitions for processing.
Step 4. Visa application at a U.S. embassy or consulate. Once the petition is approved and, if applicable, selected in the lottery, the worker applies for the H-2B visa at a U.S. embassy or consulate in their home country. This involves submitting forms, paying fees, and attending an interview.
Step 5. Entry to the United States. After visa approval, the worker can travel to the U.S. and commence employment as per the terms of the visa.
Documentation required. For employers, proof of temporary need. This includes a detailed explanation and evidence of the temporary or seasonal nature of the job. Recruitment documentation. Records of your efforts to hire U.S. workers. Wage information. Evidence that the wages you offer meet or exceed the prevailing wage. For workers, a valid passport, which should be valid for at least 6 months beyond your intended period of stay. Visa application forms. You need to complete the DS-160 form and other required documentation. Job offer letter. An official offer of employment from the US employer. Supporting evidence. Documents proving your qualifications, ties to your home country, and your intent to return after employment.
Timing. The H-2B application process can be, quite time-sensitive due to the annual cap and specific filing periods. It's essential to plan and initiate the process well in advance of the intended employment start date. Legal assistance. Navigating the H-2B visa process can be complex. Employers and applicants may benefit from consulting with immigration attorneys or accredited representatives to ensure compliance with all requirements. Renewals and extensions. The H-2B visa is typically granted for the period of the temporary job up to 1 year, with possible extensions. However, the total stay generally cannot exceed 3 years.
Resources: U.S. Department of Labor DOL, H-2B Program Information, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, H-2B Visa Overview, U.S. Department of State H-2B Visa Information. Final notes. Immigration laws and policies are subject to change, and specific circumstances can affect eligibility and requirements. It's advisable to consult official government resources or seek professional legal counsel to obtain the most accurate and personalized guidance regarding the H-2B visa application process. Make the background music, informative and engaging.